What do you get when you try to make a old school spy film, just mix in a little of Snatch's style with some of the more blockbuster feel of the Sherlock Holmes movies? Well, you get The Man from U.N.C.L.E. The Man from U.N.C.L.E. is an adaptation to an older series that I believe also was a movie at one point, of The Man from U.N.C.L.E. In this film, the Cold War is still raging on. Russia is against the U.S. There's a lot of animosity towards the two countries. However, there are some former Nazis that are working on a nuclear bomb that could threaten both Russia and America and a lot of the rest of the world. So what happens is one of the best operatives from the CIA has to work with one of the best from the KGB. Now, The Man from U.N.C.L.E. has plenty of good things about it. It is very entertaining, very funny, very charming. All the acting is hands down brilliant in the film, and even our three main leads are really great. I knew Alicia Vikander would be really good because she's been in Ex Machina, and even some of the more worse movies she's been one of the best parts of the movie. So I knew she was going to be good, but surprisingly, Armie Hammer and Henry Cavill is really good in this film as well, and all three of them have a really great chemistry together. Cavill and Hammer really worked well together, and there's a really great chemistry. You feel like they're always in competition with each other. They're always hassling each other and busting each other's balls, and they're really funny together. But you do believe it when they start bonding and actually start caring about each other. It's mainly due out of respect for one another. Now, where there ultimately are some action moments that do feel a little blockbustery like the Sherlock Holmes films, it never gets too much, and there is an old school style to the entire film, and it's not as action-packed as some people might like. This is one of those spy films that emphasizes on espionage and sneaking around and going undercover and just using gadgets and all that kind of stuff rather than action and shooting and just plain beating each other up. The characters are very two-dimensional, but overall they are interesting enough and likable enough that you'll care for them and probably won't mind them being two-dimensional. There was a lot of wit, there was a lot of humor, there's a lot of twists and turns, but while a lot of those things are good for the movie and work, sometimes they don't work as well as they should. For one, while there is a lot of humor and there's a lot of really great stuff, and I was laughing throughout most of the movie, sometimes all that humor could take away from the tension and the importance of the action. Like when I was laughing so much with these characters and found this movie so funny, I didn't feel worried for the characters when they're actually in trouble. Like when the action finally happened, I was just waiting for the funny things to start happening, and I didn't really feel like the characters were ever in any danger, and that hurts the film. While there is a lot of great twists and turns to the film, and it is witty, sometimes the twists and turns can get too much, and it's not that it's just so twisty and turny, it's the fact that it starts leading up to something, and then suddenly it decides, oh, we got to explain this twist happened, so we got to explain how we got to that and explain in case you missed this stuff. And it does that about 3 or 4 times throughout the movie, and some of those times you don't even need to be explained. It just feels like it's explaining for the people that didn't pay attention, because some of it you can get and predict when the twist happens, but I guess they gotta explain to the dumb people. Overall, I'm gonna give The Man from U.N.C.L.E. 3 stars. Yeah, I did enjoy it. I probably enjoyed it a little bit more than I would have expected. It does have a Snatch meets Sherlock Holmes feel to it, and that makes sense because it is directed by Guy Ritchie, who did both films. So I think fans of both of those films might enjoy The Man from U.N.C.L.E. a little bit more, even though I do highly enjoy both of those films that I mentioned. But for me, Snatch and Sherlock Holmes was just way better than The Man from U.N.C.L.E. to a point where, even though it does feel like a mixture of those two films, it just wasn't as enjoyable as I would like it. So have you seen The Man from U.N.C.L.E.? What did you think about it? Go ahead and comment. If you haven't seen the film, then what is your favorite spy espionage film? As always, this is Bruce Gifford, and this was just my opinion.